Hello everyone and welcome to. So I recently just moved to Korea and I wanted to shoot this video and actually did shoot it, but my audio is really bad, so I have to reshoot the video all over again. So I'm really sorry to my neighbors about this. Hopefully they don't mind. Anyhow, so I just moved to Korea about a week ago and I spent the first few days looking for accommodation. So I'll be staying in Korea for a few months as a student, and I obviously needed accommodation for that. So as a student in Korea, you have a few options in terms of accommodation. So either your school provides you accommodation through their dormitories, or you can rent your own apartment. But the thing with apartments, you need a huge deposit to be able to get the apartment, and most of the leases run for a year. So if you're only staying for a few months, that's not really a good option. Alternatively, you also have share houses. So it's about 3 or 4 of you guys sharing an apartment. Some of you might share rooms, some might get their own rooms, and you guys basically pay for rent and your utilities as well. So that's another nice option, but it does also involve deposit money, and it does also involve you having to pay utilities. And the final one is you can either stay in a Goshiwon or a Hasukchip. So they're kind of similar, but basically they look like off-campus accommodations, but anyone can stay there, and it's basically about a few of you guys living on each floor, and you might have your own bathroom and you might not, and you guys just share the kitchen and laundry facilities. So the nice thing about these places is that you don't have to pay for utilities, and most of the time there's no deposit, so you pay monthly and the amount's not too bad. So most people end up going for this option. Hasuk chicks are a bit more expensive because you do get food, you do get meals prepared for you, but with Goshiwons you don't get meals prepared for you. So Goshiwons, however, do give you some rice and ramen and stuff, so you can cook and you can make your own meals. So that's a good option, and that's the one I decided to go with as well. So Goshiwons, really, the idea of them originated like a long time ago when people used to study for like extreme government exams in Korea. Students would want a place where there was really barely any distraction and they could just study. So it was a cheap option. You literally just get a bed and a table and some shelves, and that's about it. So obviously as time went by, things became a bit more fancy, but that's just the general idea behind a Goshiwon. So you can find these on a few websites. You can literally just type in Goshiwons on Google and a few websites should pop up, but I'll leave a few links in the description. And you can also find them by actually coming to Korea and going to the place you're actually going to live in. So that actually might be the better option because there's quite a few of them in around like university areas, so you can split it there, so you can easily find them that way as well. So I wanted to give you guys a few hints and tips and what to avoid when finding a Goshiwon. So the first thing is to always see the room in person before you actually book it, because some of these places okay, so I remember I went to like about 7 Goshiwons, and one of them mentioned about sharing a bathroom. So I'd have my standard room, but I'd have to share a bathroom with 4 or 5 people, and I was like, that's not bad, but I'd live in a co-ed corridor, and the bathroom was a small, dark, dingy little thing with like a wet floor shower situation, and then they didn't have a door, it's just a curtain. So I'm just like, me in a co-ed space with just a curtain, no, this didn't sit right with my soul. I was like, no. So anyways, always just check what you're getting yourself into. So like actually go to the place and physically see the place before you actually book the room. Another telltale sign to look out for are the pictures they put on the website, because sometimes the TV dimension, it's a bit too wide and the fridge is a bit too wide and the bed looks a bit too long. Then you'll know that this picture has been doctored and the room's probably smaller. Okay, So another point or tip is to actually try and negotiate if you can. So if you're comfortable working your way around Korean, or you have a Korean friend who can go with you to look at these places, I'd suggest maybe trying to negotiate, because of all the places I went to, all of them offered me some kind of discount. They're like, oh, you know, this place used to go for 400,000 won, but you can get it for 380 or something like that. So they might be open to negotiating if you're honest with them and say, you know what, I like this place, but can you knock it down a few thousand won? And they might agree. So just try them out. Obviously do this within reason. Like, don't want a very bomb room and expecting to pay like bare minimum. That's not fair. But if you feel like they can knock down a few K1, ask them. They might be able to do that for you. Yeah. And then the next tip is to not sign anything. Do not sign anything. Do not sign to book a room. Like, no. So sometimes what they'll do when you go see a place is they'll ask you to sign some kind of form to show them that you will come back for the room or to book your room. And just don't do it. Don't do it. Like, these rooms are available most of the time, and you don't have to sign for anything, and you don't have to give them deposits to book your room, whatever the case is. I think just make it very clear when you go to find or view a room that you're just viewing the room, and you're viewing a few rooms, and you'll make your decision and you'll let them know later. So do not feel forced or obligated to sign anything or to pay anything you do not want to. Yeah. Okay. And then the next point is to actually have a list of what's on offer. So some of these, because I found a few of these Goshiwons online, and they had a long list of features they'd offer you, like AC or a window, or whatever the case is. Actually have a list of those features and ask the owner. So I noticed here you said individualized AC, can I see that? Or I don't know, you mentioned you have a laundry room, can I see that? So actually hold them to account based on what they wrote. Is to actually look out for mold. So because these spaces are small and ventilation tends to be poor, my camera's going. Anyways, ventilation tends to be poor. There happens to be a lot of mold in the areas, and sometimes mold, some people are more sensitive to it than others, and it can make you a bit sick. So just look at how bad the mold is in the room. Yeah. And then another thing to look out for are windows. So if you get a Goshiwon with a window facing outside, you have to pay a bit more than those without windows or those with windows facing indoors. However, some of these windows facing outdoors, like it's small, and then most of the time, well, my case anyways, it's facing another building, so it's complete. I don't have a view basically, and I'm not getting any sunlight, so in the end it's not really worth me paying more for a window I barely use, if I make sense. So just think about that as well. Or when you're viewing the room, ask them to actually see out of the window and see what you can actually see. I don't know if it will maybe make a difference in summer when it's hot and I can open the window, but for now I'm just like, what am I paying for? Like, yeah. And then with the shared bathroom, if you share a bathroom with other people as opposed to having your own bathroom in your room, it works out a bit cheaper. But just look at the room they're offering you and how far is it from shared bathrooms. So you don't want it too close, because then there'll be a lot of traffic and there'll be a lot of noise outside your room. But you don't want it to be too far either. If you wake up a lot at night and you need to use the bathroom a lot at night, because then you have to go into the cold corridor every time to use the bathroom, and that gets annoying very quickly. So also think about that as well. And then the last point is to actually try and stay in the Goshiwon before you rent it. I know that's a bit hard to do, but basically what happens in some Goshiwons, you can pay per day if you're staying for a short period of time. And I'd actually use that time to actually stay in the room for a day or two and figure it out, because a lot of times, so viewing a place and actually living in the place are two very different things, and it's yeah, it's a mess. Not a mess really, but basically sometimes the place might look one way during the day, and then at night the area becomes really powdery and really loud, and you're just like, how, you know? Or you stay in the room, and some people actually smoke in their rooms. They're not supposed to, but they do, and the smoke comes down your vent as well, and you get smoke in your room. So these are things you only know about if you actually stayed in the room for a day or two to experience that. So I'd say if you can try out them for a day or two, you can just test it out, and then if you're keen to stay longer, then you can just top up the money and make it a monthly rate. And pay a monthly rate, I'm sorry. So yeah, that's basically it. I mean, I tried to vlog finding these Goshiwons, but I'm an awkward being and that just did not materialize. And I tried to shoot this video earlier on, but I was speaking so softly that my audio was terrible and I couldn't use those clips at all. So I have to reshoot it, and I feel bad because I'm speaking. It sounds soft, but I'm speaking loud, and I feel like I might be making a noise for my neighbors. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's generally it. And yeah, I hope this helps you guys in terms of finding Goshiwons and helps you to know what to look out for and what to avoid. And I'll see you guys in the next video.